Welcome everyone to my video. My name is Mercurieliana Sofia, and today I'm going to present to you the video that is entitled All About Whale Songs. I was inspired by the question 13, Are whale songs poems? And in this video I'll try to get an overview about whale songs and whale behavior so that we may in the end get an answer to this question. I have 4 points for you, and let's get started. I always thought that all whales could sing. However, actually, only a certain kind of whale can sing, and these are baleen whales. These are whales with baleen plates instead of teeth. That is a structure made of keratin that hangs from the upper jaw of these animals. And with this structure, they filter small organisms such as krill and small fish from the water and eat them. So, no toothed whales, such as, for example, orcas are, can sing, and these singers are just found in the baleen whales category. But let's see which species actually can sing. As we can see here, the humpback whale, the fin whale, the blue whale, and the minke whale, and also the bowhead whale can sing. And in this taxonomy of baleen whales, we see that they are mostly in the Balaenopteridae category. Most research focuses on humpback whales. That's why in my video you will find most images and information about them. So, where do whales live? Of course, they live in the ocean, but they do not just live somewhere in the ocean. And here we have a nice depiction of some of the whale superhighways. In particular, we can see here, for example, the humpback whale superhighways in orange. But not all whales do have this enormous range of migration. Some of them are more restricted, such as, for example, the North Atlantic right whales. But I want to specify that not all humpback whales live together. In fact, there are over a dozen different populations, and here we can see that each population of humpback whales, although they live in almost all the world's oceans, lives in different areas and had its feeding and breeding grounds to which they migrate every season. So we can see that the feeding grounds are most located in the southern and northern hemispheres, while the breeding grounds are located around the equatorial line. The next topic that is up deals more precisely with our main theme, and this was a big introduction. I hope you enjoyed that. So, how do whales actually sing? I didn't know that whales didn't have vocal cords. And the only way these large animals have been able to be studied now are when they strand. So most information is collected by dissecting them. It seems that although they do not have vocal cords like us, these marine mammals use the air that is flowing from the lungs to this laryngeal sac and produce sounds. In particular, we see here in light blue this vocal U fold, which seems responsible for the generation of low frequency and the frequency of sounds, while the laryngeal sac seems to play a role in the modification and transmission of the sound. So it creates a kind of sound propagation pathway that we can observe in the second image, so this green pathway. The fact that males can stay underwater for circa 20 minutes while continuously singing and not exhaling makes scientists think that they might recycle air that they use for sound and that this air goes back into the lungs, which is very, very peculiar. However, the exact mechanisms of sound production are still a mystery. But now let's see why this sound production is called a song. Well, first of all humpback whales produce sounds. So these sounds are called calls, and they are used to communicate with their conspecifics during breeding and feeding season. These calls are extremely variable and are used by males and females. Calls are part of the social sounds, while songs have been described as a composition of moans, snores, chirps, and cries that are repeated several times in a very specific combination, almost only during the breeding season. Humpback whales, as you can see, produce the most complex songs that can last from 16 to 25 minutes, and individual whales have been found out to sing up for 22 hours, repeating the song over and over again. But now I actually want to hear with you a bit of a song of a humpback whale. Let's get started. Okay, so let's move on. Here we see that a song is composed of units. I will show it to you. This is defined as a continuous sound between two silences. The length of a unit can range between 1 and 5 seconds. The silence usually ranges between 2 and 5 seconds. The alternation of these two gives a rhythmic structure to these sounds. Two or more units can be repeated in a specific order to form a phrase. As we can see in the image, phrases are then combined and repeated several times to form a theme. Several themes produce a song. Other characteristics are a very low sound, which is used to communicate over long distances in the water. Low sounds propagate better than higher frequency sounds. So, generally, these sounds are below 4 kilohertz in frequency, and some are inaudible to humans. The structure we saw before is very peculiar, it's a hierarchical structure, and also songs can change. So typically there is a shared song in each population, although males do not sing together, and some populations' song remains stable for more than 2 decades. However, like in the case of humpback whales, in other populations the song has been observed to change over the season. In fact, research has shown that populations breeding in different ocean basins have different dialects. However, if their breeding grounds were near each other and breeding season happened at the same time, they produce similar songs. Let's go over to another big question. Why do actually whales sing? The first reason to have been proposed is sexual display. But what does it really mean? So only males sing, and they do it at the start of the breeding season in winter, arriving earlier than females on the breeding grounds, where they then compete for females by physically attacking each other and then also through displays to attract females. Therefore, it has been proposed that songs convey information to females about a male's sexual fitness, since it is indeed an activity in high energy expenditure for them. Another reason why males would sing could be, for example, for an intersexual signal, so a male to male signal. This could be, for example, for territorial marking, so a competitive interaction. So we have courtshipping of a female that at the same time warns other males about their superiority and prevents a real physical competition. Indeed, a study conducted on an inter and intersexual interactions shows that singers, and here I quote, sang for a significantly greater proportion of time when escorting a mother calf pair. And also, a very interesting fact that I paraphrase a bit here is that in the majority of interactions, singers stop singing at the beginning of the encounters when these associations were with other males. Another reason could be, for example, cooperative interaction, which is another kind of intersexual signal male to male. This hypothesis is supported by research that showed that males joining singers during female escorting behave more cooperatively than when the song is not heard, suggesting that songs are involved in male interactions. However, this hypothesis was disputed. The last reason why whales do sing could be the detection of conspecifics. It is suggested that humpback whale songs play a role in detecting females, like, for example, echolocation works. However, this hypothesis was also disputed. And now my presentation is coming to an end, and I actually want to ask you too if whale songs are indeed poems. Because I think that in some sense they really are poems. They have a rhythm, they have rhymes, so we could indeed say they are poems, and probably because of the popularity of whale songs in 1970 when they first were recorded and made available for the public, made them popular as songs, but I think we could also call them poems. Thank you for joining me and watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this topic as I did. And here the bibliography and the images and GIFs that I used.